Hey guys, Jurassic Collectibles back again with another Papo review. Really excited to be taking a closer look at this one today. And as you can see, the green background has been revived. Really cool. So today, without further ado, we are taking a closer look at the Papo 2017 Dimorphodon. You can find the item featured in today's review and more at everythingdinosaur.com. Check out their site today. This one interestingly comes packaged in this baggie, in this nice plastic casing. This is quite different for Papo. Usually they just come loose inside a bag. So without further ado, let's break this one out. Always the fun part of any review. And with this one, we don't require the assistance of a knife. As you can see, there's a little bit of plastic between its legs to stop it from warping. And I really like these little figures because Papo does delicate, beautiful, detailed things really well. So here is the Papo Dimorphodon. Beautifully detailed. Just straight out of the packet. Looks absolutely fantastic. And also has a really nice stylized tail going on here. Reminds me of modern day lemurs. And Papo always borrow a lot from the natural world. They go for really earthy colours and their figures are always the most realistic. Probably Papo and Rebor, for me, are the ones excelling in terms of realism. So let's have a look at this guy on the turntable. So here's a 360 of the Dimorphodon on the turntable, so you can take a look at him from all angles. Very, very nice detail, and something you couldn't see in my hands is the detail on the feet. The very elongated toed feet. But this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Very realistic eyes, very nicely seated. And I just love that striped tail. It's a really nice bit of flair on this figure. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this thing. As you can see, we've got a beautiful head sculpt. Just look at that. Look at the way the eyes are seated with a nice black line around the eyes. It's such a simple thing that Papo does. It's a trademark thing that Papo does. But it really helps sell the realism of that eye. And it's such a simple thing to do, and yet so many companies miss out on it. Just a little bit of eyeliner. That's all you need. Look at that beautiful sculpting, even on the top. Let's have a look underneath. Yeah, nice detail. I think I prefer the top. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice interlocking teeth. Does have something of a sort of Jurassic World quality to it. I'm sure some Jurassic World fans could do some nice repaints of this one. I'm looking at the Ted brothers. Very nice indeed. As you can see, as we move down the back of the neck, we've got some nice fine fur going on, like micro feathers. Very nice. As we move into the shoulder area, you can just see that lovely sculpted fur just continuing on. And this kind of fur is so hard to sculpt at this level. I have a feeling that probably Papo sculpted this at a larger size and then shrank this thing down digitally. I'm not sure, but the kind of detail that they're getting into these figures is kind of beyond what you can make with human-sized tools. Unless they've got a sculptor who's actually just very, very small. Could happen. They might have Oompa Loompas working for them, who knows. As you can see, very nicely sculpted finger claws. Nicely painted and weathered. Just a very genuine looking wing there. And I love these lines of tension that they've sculpted in here, where it connects up with the body. Just realistic looking creases there. Just gives it that sense of realism. Same underneath. Really nice lines of tension joining up with the body. Here's a closer look at that leg. Really beautifully sculpted toes. Toe claws. You've got this one that's kind of bending back here. Really striking looking foot. Very nicely weathered as well. Lots of nice passes of different browns and reds. You can see we've got this striping going on as we go back up the leg. More fur sculpted. Really, really nice. This fur just continues into the tail and you can see this lovely striping Beautiful sculpted detail all the way along this tail, all the way up to the tip. A nice plume of red. Very nice indeed. And it is kind of like a flexible plasticky rubber. You can see really nice sculpted fur going down here as we join up with this leg. Again, beautiful sculpt. So we go up into this arm and wing. Beautiful. Join back up with that beautiful head sculpt. There's just a nice little splash of red there near the ear. As we open up the jaw. Oh, I hope I opened it up a little bit wider. Oh gosh, I hope I haven't done a rebore raptor again. I think you all remember what happened last time. But I think actually it's meant to open that wide. And that looks really cool. Look at that. How's that for a thumbnail? So for size comparison, I thought I'd bring in some other prehistoric flappy things that Papo have created. And I just chucked him on the turntable there, sorry. This is the Tupawara. Sorry, Mr. Tupawara. I'm a real big fan of this figure. If you haven't seen the review for this one, link is down below. But the detail on the Tupawara is stunning. And it's also got this really nice airbrushed quality to it and a translucency that makes this thing look like it's made from real sort of waxy looking skin. It's hard to describe unless you see this thing in person. But Papo do these really lovely, beautiful little figures, and Tupawara is one of their best. So definitely check out the review if you haven't seen that already. But you can see how these two scale up next to each other, and they actually look really cool next to each other. So I think this one might require hand support. I'm going to bring in the Papo Pteranodon, a fan favourite. Does resemble the Pteranodons that you see in Jurassic Park 3, and a lot of people like this detail on this Pteranodon. Probably one of the coolest looking Pteranodons on the shelf, if I'm honest. And you can see how these two scale up next to each other. So the Pteranodon's a little bit taller, but in terms of body mass, you know, it's a little bit bigger on the Pteranodon, but not much. So it gives you some idea how big this new Dimorphodon is. Let's bring in the prehistoric origins of the bird. This is the Archaeopteryx. This one was made quite a while ago now, but again, no less detailed, a beautiful offering from Papo, and we have reviewed this one on the channel. Link is down below if you want to see the review for this beautiful Archaeopteryx. Just look at that. I mean, who paints things like this anymore for collectors? Look at that. Incredible. I just love the little Papo figures. Has it got an articulated jaw? Yeah. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Oh well. But it's still a very, very good little figure. And again, if you want to see this one reviewed, it has been reviewed on Jurassic Collectibles. Link is down below. Still keeping in line with small, ornate things, let's bring in the baby Triceratops. One of my favourites because this baby Triceratops resembles the concept artwork from Jurassic Park for the baby Triceratops. And Papo made this beautiful offering. Again, reviewed on the channel. Link is down below if you want to see the review for this little guy. But it gives you an idea of the scale. Next, let's bring in something a little bigger. It's the recently reviewed 2017 Juvenile Papo Spinosaurus. If you haven't seen the review for this one, we reviewed this very recently. Link is down below, but you can see how these two new offerings scale up next to each other. And they just look fantastic. I love the detail that Papo gives us. We are lucky to be living in this time. Lastly, let's bring in our good old friend. It's OffColor Allen. Now free from bolognese that my child coated him in. OffColor Allen is back. I wonder if you could create some sort of diorama with it. Yep, you can. So you can have the Dimorphodon just clinging onto Alan Grant's arm there. I wonder what else you can do. Whether you could have him sort of posed over his face. Yeah, you could. So all in all, it's not looking good for OffColor Allen. So maybe if you've got that awful Owen Grady Hasbro figure, you could reenact the Dimorphodon scene from Jurassic World. You could have a bit of fun with that. Okay, it's time to ask the eternal question. Just how big are you? Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in there. Just how big are you? Okay, so let's bring in the tape measure. you're looking at a wingspan of about 6 inches. It's about 15, 16 centimeters. In terms of height, up to the top of the wings, you're looking at about 3 inches there, which is about 7.5 centimeters. In terms of width on the body, you're looking at about 1.5 inches, which is about 3.5 centimeters. In terms of length, from head to tail, you're looking at about 4.5 inches, about 11.5 centimeters there. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the brand new Papo 2017 Dimorphodon. I think this is a cracking detailed figure and fantastic for posing with your Jurassic Park sized figures as well. Really, really nice. I love the color scheme that they've used on this figure, the naturalistic earthy tones mixed with that nice striped tail. I just love that sort of splash of style that Papo adds in. And you get the feeling that no area on the body of this creature hasn't been really well thought out. Obviously, I always love those well-seated eyes. I always come back to those on the Papo figures. I think maybe the interior of the mouth could have been weathered a little bit more. I'm just looking at the tongue and it looks quite simplified in its paint scheme, but to be honest, that's a minor gripe on this figure. And if you're a Papo fan, you definitely need to pick this figure up. Now you've seen it reviewed, why not pick up your own at everythingdinosaur.com? Link is in the description. It's really nice to have small, detailed little figures from Papo. They really make your shelf look highly detailed and beautiful. Okay guys, let me know, do you own this one already? Will you be picking him up? In the meantime, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.